You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And unironically, I wish that this belonged in a museum. Like, I want people that are going to come after us, our descendants, to look in a museum and say that despite the fact that we had access to the internet, we had access to more knowledge than mankind has ever had in its existence. I mean, the Library of Alexandria pales in comparison to what people can hold on their smartphone. And we also have access to AI. And despite all that, this is how dumb people were. Like in 2025, this was the collective knowledge of people. Because as you can see, it's got 4.5 billion views. And this shows like a complete misunderstanding of mankind. A level of uneducation that you can only get by going to a university. It absolutely baffles everyone outside the West. Like people who grew up under the Soviet Union or its satellite states, they look at this understanding of how the world works and they're wondering like how did the intelligent people come to this conclusion? Like how can they be so ignorant? And so obviously, you know, this is a propaganda piece that serves to push the conversation regarding Israel and Palestine, right? But here's the thing. I don't care about that. Like, I don't want to discuss that. What I want to discuss is the core essence of this ideology. Because there are so many things that are wrong with this picture, right? So, like, here you have this misunderstanding of human nature that in the past, people just had the conversation, you know, like the Europeans, they came on boats to the new land and they met the Indians and they just sat down and they had a pleasant conversation and they said, God promised me this land. And the Indians were like, oh shit, well, we can't refute that. And then they just packed up and left, right? And that's how colonialism happened. And it's the same thing, like apparently in the European Union, which obviously always existed, because you can't have Europe without the European Union. White people came and told the black people that lived there, God promised us this land. And the black people were like, I mean, obviously we can't refute that. And they packed up and left, right? So like throughout human history, it's the white people that went from nation to nation and just said, God promised us this land. And everyone was like, I mean, obviously, like, what can we say about that? In reality, both people would believe that God promised them the land, right? So, like, you have the Europeans that say God promised us this land, and this gentleman would say, no, Wakaham Toka promised us this land. Right? Like, here you have God promised us this land, and this gentleman would be like, Allah promised us this land. And here you would have God promised us this land, and this guy would be like, Anansi promised us this land. Wait, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this is part of human nature. Like, the idea that leftists, most of them are atheists, right? Like, all of them believe in evolutionary theory. The idea that they believe that for some reason, mankind is the only species of mammal that's not territorial baffles my brain. Like, I thought the left is the intelligent one, right? Like, they have the academia, they're smarter than everyone, they got Reddit, they got sources, they got studies, they got research. But for some reason, they believe that mankind is the only species of mammal that's not territorial, or at least there's like a subsection of mankind, the white men, who have leveled up persuasion to such an astonishing effect that they just go around the world convincing everyone that they need to pack up and leave because God promised them the land. In reality, every single nation on planet Earth, without exception, every single one, throughout history, was decided by the fact that if you can defend it, you can keep it. And I'm pretty sure that if we ever start colonizing the stars, like people ever go on Mars and the moon, the same logic will apply. The same harsh reality. If you can defend it, you can keep it. Like, let's put it this way, right? Imagine that by some mysterious power, you would manage to have territory on the moon right now. Right? Like a genie in a bottle just came in and gives you personally half of the moon. Right? So you're there first, you colonize half of the moon. What do you think happens when the other nations come? Like, do you think you get to keep your shit? The answer is only if you can defend it. And the reason, because that is human nature. Like, that is part of humanity. I noticed that leftists, when they talk about humanity, they only like to talk about the positive things, as if humans are not capable of doing bad things. Or that the bad things can somehow be removed, all of them, like not some of them, but like every single bad thing can just be removed from humanity, as if we're like social engineering mankind. And the answer is it just doesn't work that way, right? Like mankind has always been territorial. Now, the only reason we've been less territorial in the present is simply because we have access to better technology. Like in the past, when you experienced population growth, you needed more land. You needed more land to farm more shit because you needed more resource. So if you didn't get more land, you would have famine. You'd have starvation. Because like back then, we didn't have like these methods of agriculture where on a small plot of land you can grow a lot of food. And so that's why you had like colonialism and various conquests. It's because of human population exploding in numbers and requiring more food. Now we don't do that. At least most people believe that colonialism is evil simply because we moved past that. Like we have the technology to not make it required. And so like what do you do then? Like do you bring up all the old grievances from the past? I mean, I guess that is one way, like a perpetual conflict. I suppose that most of Europe would be in constant warfare. Like Romania and Hungary, they would have claims over Transylvania. There would be claims that Germany would have, back when they were the Holy Roman Empire, they would say, well, this was our land. I mean, holy shit, Italy. Italy would have claims on most of Europe. And so the reason that we don't do that anymore is because humanity has advanced to such a level where our weapons of destruction are so powerful that we're trying to prevent conflict. And so when you have like this situation right here, didn't Israel manage to have like a 6-day war? Well, all its neighbors declared war on it. They managed to push back, and like before that, wasn't the British Empire that was owning those lands? Like the conversation seems to be extremely simple, and it doesn't seem to mention that it wasn't, 2 years ago when the Palestinians sent terrorists into Israel, killing women and children and videotaping that on GoPro cameras and posting that online for the whole world to see. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think you can conduct combat operations without massacring civilians, filming it and putting it online. And then you're trying to, get sympathy? I mean, I suppose, but, I'm pretty sure that the argument is a little bit more complex than this. The reality is, most people have chosen a side, by now, most people have made up their mind regarding the conflict. So, all of this is pointless. But what really shocks me is, the level of intelligence in creating something like this. To simplify it in such a manner, it's almost like for 5-year-old kids. This would look like you're trying to indoctrinate kids. The argument is so fucking simplistic, it's comic book in nature. And again, the idea that, okay, so in Europe, I suppose, Europe doesn't have any indigenous people. Which begs the question, where did these white people come from? What nations found them? Because they seem to just come up from the ether. Are they aliens? Huh? Did they land from spaceships? It's interesting, isn't it? They go around the world, making this very persuasive argument, and everyone is going oh, shucks, I guess so, I guess it's your country now. Or maybe what happened, I think, these nations were very developed, but they had a problem with their welfare state. They realized that it's not sustainable. And so they said, we need to open the borders. Let as many white people in as we can. And they let a lot of white people in, and then the white people, they got so numerous and that they managed to, create the societies we have today. Man, this thing is so bite-swung. It's interesting that the Chinese actually created a term for it. They noticed the strain of absolute peak human stupidity, and the Chinese created a word from their language for it, which describes it accurately. Here we call it woke. The Chinese call it bite-swung. It means white, leftist liberal. They even categorize it because only white liberals believe in this shit. No other race on planet Earth actually believes that this is the case. People have a more firmer grasp on human history and the way people behave, to the point that this looks like a caricature. This looks absolutely ridiculous. And the reason it looks ridiculous is that it makes me think that leftists actually have the mind of a child. And so, like, how can you debate with them? Like, what conversation can you have? Like, I don't debate stuff with 5-year-olds. Like, with a 5-year-old, you don't even have conversations. You pick him up, you put him at the kids' table with the other kids, and you go and you sit at the adult table and talk with the adults. That's what you do with a 5-year-old. You don't have, like, conversations about Israel and Palestine and, like, the Europeans. Like, no. Because they can't understand it. Like, their brain is not developed. So, like, if you're telling me that this is, like, the level of discussion that leftists have online, 4.5 million views, it's like, okay. Count me out, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you on my live stream. The link is into the pinned comment. Take care.